Hey everyone, this is Jane with Herbal, and in this video I'm going to cover the amazing health benefits of the lovely garlic plant. Now, garlic is something that is a food that the majority of the people on the planet are not only familiar with, but I would be willing to bet that a huge percentage use this on the daily because it is such a beautiful plant. It tastes delicious. It flavors your food like crazy, and it's got a massive amount of health benefits. So this is a plant that they can date back about 5,000 years from when humans started using it. And it's been used in traditional Chinese medicine and heavily documented for the last 2,000 years. So they figure this plant originates in central China, but of course now grows all over the world. And there is a reason this plant is so loved, because it will help you flavor your foods and make your foods delicious, but then it's got this big benefit of protecting your heart, helping your respiratory system, powerful for your immune system, so many beautiful things and health benefits of garlic that there's really no reason not to add it into your diet. Unless, of course, you have an allergy, which even though there's a lot of similarities in us humans, we have a lot of differences. Now, the information I share with you is not meant to be medical advice. This is just meant to entertain you, educate you, and hopefully, in the case of garlic, inspire you to start adding more garlic into your daily life. Now, there is a couple of things about garlic that are very important to know. And one of the main things that I find some people might not realize is the power of the medicinal properties of garlic are when you consume it raw. So that might be a little bit hard for some people because raw garlic is very pungent, it's very powerful. You can taste all those antimicrobial properties in a garlic clove. If you take a clove, chop it up, crush it up, put it on a teaspoon and consume it, you are going to be like, who wants to do that? But there is a way to consume raw garlic, just with the different things that you add it to or sprinkle it on rather than cook it. Now, this is also not saying that you shouldn't cook it as well, because it does add some beautiful flavor and some deliciousness to your food. And while it does destroy most of the medicinal benefits of it, there still are some that are in it. So that is one thing that I think people that start learning about garlic and its power, not just how it flavors your food, they'll start to swap the way that they consume garlic or just start doing raw here and there. Now, one of my favorite memories of garlic is when my dad would make raw garlic and onion sandwiches. So my mom and I and my siblings all learned how to make homemade bread. So my mom would make homemade bread and my dad would cut 2 slices of bread, put mayonnaise on both sides, slice up thickly an onion, chop up a few cloves of garlic, and what he would do is he would crush them, just because he knew that that's where you're releasing all of those medicinal benefits of garlic and all the flavors. He would take the crushed garlic clove, spread it on the onion, put the top of the sandwich on, and that would be my dad eating a garlic and onion sandwich. And even to this day, not only do most of my siblings love a raw onion sandwich especially, but even a tomato sandwich where you do the same thing with a little bit of mayonnaise on 2 sides of the bread, some thick slices of fresh tomato from your garden, a little bit of salt and pepper on it, and one of my favorite flavors from my childhood. Now, the interesting thing about eating raw garlic is that it will make your breath kind of strong and maybe considered bad breath. And also what I notice when I do eat raw garlic, and it's not something I keep in my diet, because your body will acclimate. Even the way you smell will acclimate to not being quite so strong when you consume garlic. But what I notice when I eat raw garlic is even when I sweat, so if I'm hiking or if I'm working out or it's just a super hot day, even sweating, makes your sweat smell different. So this is something that takes a little bit of getting used to, and it might take a little bit of convincing the other people in your family to consume raw garlic too, because it does appear to be a little bit easier on the whole family if you're all consuming it. Now, garlic is something that is easy to grow in your garden. And this is something I've been growing for a very long time. I plant the cloves either in the fall, the late fall, right as I'm putting my garden to bed, or in the early spring if I forget to do it in the fall. So you want clove up and then cover it up with the soil. And as your plant starts to grow, there's a couple of cool things about growing garlic. And the type that I like to grow is the hard neck garlic. And the main reason is because I want to harvest the scapes. So garlic scapes are something that come out of it's called a hard neck garlic, and it grows up. In fact, let me read to you what I wrote here. So garlic scapes are the flower stalks that emerge from the center of the hardneck garlic plant in the late spring to the early summer. They start as curly green shoots and eventually straighten and form a bulb-like tip, and that's the flower head. If left uncut, the plant will put energy into flowering rather than the bulb development. So cutting off the scape encourages the plant to focus on growing a bigger garlic bulb. So this is what they taste like. Garlic scapes taste like mild, fresh versions of garlic with a texture somewhere between a green bean and a chive. And what you want to do when you harvest the scape is you want to cut it as close to the other leaves or stalks as you can. And then take them in and hopefully use them that night. Now, garlic scapes are a delicacy, in my opinion. There's only a few. It's like getting the squash blossoms and harvesting the squash blossoms and bringing them in and making a meal with them, which we love to do that every summer as well. And it does seem to actually make the plant produce more blossoms if you harvest them at just the right time when they're open and you put them into a dish. Super fun. But the garlic scapes are one of my favorite delicacies because, like I said, there's not very many of them. They only come out in the late spring or the early summer. And by clipping them off, you're going to help the bulb grow thicker, which is great. Now, garlic likes to grow with a little bit of space. It likes full sunlight, and it needs really good soil. So if you have soil that's a little bit less than optimal, you might want to put some fertilizer and get some good nitrogen and good things into your soil, because garlic requires really good soil. Time of year you want to harvest your garlic is in the late summer when the leaves have turned yellow or started to really turn yellow. And then you want to make sure you either consume them right away, which that could be a lot of garlic, or just store them properly. Keep them in the bulb and keep them in a cool place that is lower than 75 degrees. And this is why many people have had like root cellars and places, where they can store their vegetables for consumption during the winters. And this is something that we love to do. We actually will put the garlics we have an extra refrigerator in our garage, which most people do. And or at least a lot of people do. And that's where we like to store our garlic. You can also ferment it and you can consume it that way. So there are a ton of health benefits to the amazing garlic. And what I love is that so many people around the world consume it because it's part of our food. It's part of our cultures and the different dishes that we make. Even if you create a new tradition just in your family with a dish that you've created using, maybe not just garlic, but cayenne pepper and some of the different things from your yard, you've created something really brilliant that now becomes a tradition and part of your culture. That's what I love about some of these herbs and spices and plants that taste good for human beings and encourage us and entice us to add them into our nutrition and to help flavor our food, which I really love. So here's a list of my favorite health benefits of the amazing garlic. And what I have found for the best use of garlic, as far as how much, is 1 to 2 raw cloves a day. Make sure that you either chop them fine or crush them up and use them that way. Respiratory and immune support. There's a beautiful compound in garlic called allicin, and that's where they have found, that's where it contains its power. And that is something that actually goes away or degenerates when you cook it. So you want to maintain as much of the power as you can. So things like cold, flu, sinus infections, and even bronchitis, because you think about the infections that go in your lungs. So you want to crush and swallow 1 to 2 raw cloves daily, or you can even mix it with raw honey. That's one of my favorite things to do to, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right? So a little bit of raw honey also has some great antibacterial properties. And if you can find local raw honey to wherever you live, then you're going to be even getting it better because your body is acclimated to where you live, and all the pollination that's going on is going to make a big difference for, if you can get that. So chop up, crush up some raw garlic, add to it a teaspoon of honey, and then consume maybe half of it in the morning, half of it in the afternoon or early evening. So that's a really good way to get all those properties with a little bit of sugar to help the medicine go down, right? I also love that garlic has powerful cardiovascular health benefits. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and even poor circulation all benefit from garlic. Again, same thing. Consume 1 to 2 raw cloves a day in a little bit of honey, or even just by themselves. Spread it onto a sandwich. Chop it up really fine and put it on your salad. Or chop it up really fine and put it on a cooked meal after you've already given yourself a serving. I mean, there are so many ways you can just get creative of adding garlic to your food and still maintain all of those powerful, powerful health benefits. Blood sugar and metabolic support, tons of antimicrobial properties for bacterial infections, fungal infections. It's great for candida, viral infections, and even parasites. So many reasons to consume garlic, right? And I would say garlic and cayenne, put those two together as much as you can on the daily, and you will be just doing your body a lot of good with support, with nourishment, with prevention, with protection, so many beautiful things. Garlic also has brain and nervous system support, so cognitive decline, dementia, Alzheimer's. Remember, this is more protective and supportive than curative. From my perspective, from my opinion, from the research that I've done, I would definitely look at this as protective and supportive and preventative, okay? It's also good topically for skin conditions, skin wounds, skin infections. You can crush up a garlic clove, make a little kind of a paste out of it, and just put it onto a skin wound. So some of these powerful foods can be used in situations like that. And this is something that I have done several times. A few times growing up with my dad, watching my dad do different things that people would consider crazy, were just normal. Were just normal for us. Garlic is also good as a liver support and liver detox. It's just got some very, very powerful enzymes. And because of that, it's really good for digestion as well. So I would love to know what you think about garlic. And like I said, not everybody can consume garlic if you have an allergy to it. If it's something that you've wanted to add into your food, but you don't want to offend somebody with the way you smell, or you don't want to have bad breath, there are always ways to go around that. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can get garlic in supplement form. And I would suggest getting an aged garlic. Now, we here at Barlow Herbal don't have a garlic supplement on its own. There is garlic in our BP support, which is our blood pressure support tincture. Plus it has cardamom and other herbs that are amazing for supporting blood pressure, but garlic is one of them. So it's interesting, when I formulated the BP support and then I added the garlic to it, I'll sometimes just, I have no problems with my blood pressure, but I do like to kind of rotate around the different tinctures I have. And BP support tastes really good. It tastes like food. Hawthorn, cardamom, garlic, so good. Just so tasty and easy to take. But I would love to know what you think about garlic, and how often do you use it? Do you have a special recipe or maybe even a tip to help with the way your body smells when you are consuming garlic? That's something I would love. I should have probably researched that before I turned on this video, but maybe someone has a beautiful tip for mitigating some of the smells that come out of us when we consume garlic. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next one.